The 3D camera tracker effect can analyze a piece of video and determine the exact placement and movement of the original camera used to shoot the footage. We are going to use that effect to place some text into the scene, making it appear as though it has been sitting in the environment of the scene itself. The footage I am going to use in this project is an airport runway, and I wanted to add number 5 to the runway, right in this area here. So, to start that process, let's select the runway footage layer in the timeline, then go up to the animation menu, and choose Track Camera. Immediately After Effects CC will start analyzing the footage in the background. This allows you to work in any other composition in After Effects while the analysis is still happening. If you want to update the status, go ahead and look at the top of the Effect Control panel, under the 3D Camera Tracker, and you will get a real-time update unless it is finished. Once it is finished, the effect will be highlighted here in the Effect Control panel here, and you will see these crosses in the runway here. Now, if you hover the mouse over these crosses, you will notice there is target that appear. And the target determines where you are going to place something in the scene. Now, I am looking at this, and the target is very distorted. Let's look at some of the settings. If you go to the top of the Effect Control panel, under the shot type, fixed angle of view is chosen. That means the lens was not zooming in and out during the shot, which is correct. But if you notice some drastic distortion like we saw with the target, you might want to go in and specify the angle of view. So, I went online and searched the angle of view with my model camera that shot this footage. And it just so happens the angle of view, or the field of view, for my specific camera was 73 degrees. So, I specify my horizontal the angle of view, and set it at 73 degrees and press enter. Notice, it doesn't have to analyze anything. It just recompute the analysis. Now, when I hover with my target, it still got a little distortion, close up here, but it is nowhere near what it was before. And, when I am out here, there's far less distortion. So, I am going to hover around this general area, and I want my target to look like it is actually sitting on the tarmac. If you notice, as I am moving my mouse around the scene, I am getting 3 points that create triangle. And so, if I click, those 3 points will be selected. If you hold down Shift and click on the other points, you can use those to further refine exactly where the elements are placed in the scene. Now, it is not that important that you have exactly the same points that I do. I just want you to make sure that the target looks like it is actually sitting on the tarmac. Hover your mouse over the middle of the target, and you should notice the mouse change into the Move tool here. Once you see the Move tool, go ahead and drag the target anywhere you like in the scene, where you would to place your graphics. Once you have it in the location you like, right-click or control-click, if you are on the Mac, right over the center of that target. And then choose Set Ground Plane and Origin. So, whenever you insert something with the 3D tracking data, it will automatically be inserted at the origin. So, it is very important to go ahead and set that. Once it is set, move your mouse back over the center of the target, and then right-click or control-click again. And this time, you want to choose Create Text and Camera. To edit the text, go to the timeline and double-click on the T icon on the text layer. Then type 05, and grab the selection tool to set the type. Now, let's go to the character panel in the right, and change our typeface. Click on the Font drop-down menu, then rather than just previewing the font, let's type Arial. Press Enter to set the new font. Let's press R to open up the rotation and orientation settings. Click and drag on the Z rotation parameter until you get to a setting of 91 degrees. In order to reposition this, I am not going to change the position, I am going to change anchor point. So, press A to open the anchor point, and usually I would scrub on this parameters as I reposition, but I already know exactly where I want thing to go. So, let's set X to -25, and press Tab to move Y, and we will set -27 for that and press Enter to set.
Now the text is very large, so I press S to open up the scale. And your scale number may be slightly different than mine. So just try and visually match it. I am going to set my scale up to 580 pixels and press enter. And then to blend the colors in little better, let's go to the character panel and grab the eyedropper. And then sample a gray from the side of the runway. So, after you've picked the color, press V to grab the selection tool. And press R to open the rotation or orientation one more time. Because I am looking at this, and the angles here are a little tight. So, let's change the Z rotation on the orientation to a setting of 95 degrees, and then I'll click the bottom of the timeline to deselect everything, and press spacebar to play everything back. So, remember, if you have the chance, pay attention to what camera the footage was shot with. The information can sometimes come in very handy.